President Erdoğan, the biggest massacre in history, is happening. President Erdoğan made statements regarding the agenda of the World Islamic Scholars Consultation meeting. President Erdoğan said the biggest massacre in history is taking place regarding Israel's ongoing operations in Gaza. President Erdoğan spoke at the World Islamic Scholars Consultation meeting. President Erdoğan made the following statements. At such a time, the coming together of the Islamic geography will instill courage in our Palestinian brothers and all the oppressed. You are not only fulfilling your duty of humanity and brotherhood. You are shouting to all humanity that the oppressed Palestinians are not alone. I believe that the decisions you make will be followed carefully by the whole world. I would like to thank all our scholars for Gaza and Palestine. I hope that the World Islamic Scholars Consultation meeting will be successful and will be beneficial for all Muslims and all humanity. One of the most brutal massacres in human history has been taking place in Gaza since October 7th. Israel continues to shed innocent blood. 15,000 children were brutally murdered. 35,000 Palestinian brothers were martyred. 2 million people were forced to migrate from their homes. Gaza, which was already an open-air prison before October 7th, has turned into an extermination camp, the example of which we have only seen in Hitler's Germany for the last 219 days. UN personnel and humanitarian aid workers were targeted by bullets. I'm sorry, but I have to state this very clearly. All the torture and immorality that would make people ashamed of their humanity have been committed in Gaza and the occupied Palestinian territories in the past 219 days. They broke fascism. We have seen that the European Union is to resign to Israel to call for a ceasefire. We have seen rectors who were fired from their jobs just for criticizing Israel, artists who were threatened, and students who were not given the right to speak. We have seen that those who market themselves as the country of freedom suddenly turn to fascism when it comes to Israel's interests. We stand in full solidarity with the Palestinian people in the face of this grave situation before us. We are the country that provides the most humanitarian aid to Gaza, with the amount of aid reaching approximately 54,000 tons. We send 127 tons of drinking water to Gaza every week. We treat more than 400 patients and injured people, including cancer patients, in our country's hospitals. We are sending our kindness ships to the region. We provide all kinds of support to Palestine. We are in very close contact with both the Palestinian government and Hamas, which we see as the national forces of Palestine. We completely stop trade with Israel. We aim to hold the murderers accountable in the case of intervening in the genocide case filed against Israel at the International Court of Justice. We expect the steps taken by Turkey in both trade and law to be exemplary. We invite countries to know Palestine. This is not the first time Israel has attacked Palestinian territory. This is not the first time Israel has committed genocide against the Palestinian people. We have been witnessing Israeli attacks since 1948. We now have to accept a fact. Zionists and their collaborators, massacres, have done whatever their ideology dictates. Western countries, which are captives of the Zionist lobby, also carry out the instructions given to them at the expense of violating the values they defend. They will ignore the genocide in Gaza and continue to support Israel using Hamas as an excuse. On Monday, Hamas announced that it had accepted the ceasefire offer from Qatar, Egypt, the United States, and the UN guarantor. With our recommendations, Hamas took a critical step. The response of the Netanyahu administration was to attack the innocents in Rafah. It became clear who was in favor of more bloodshed rather than continuing the conflict. Did Netanyahu receive a serious reaction to his sass? No. They chose to bypass the process. We invite countries that do not recognize the state of Palestine to recognize the state of Palestine as soon as possible.